Hey guys, Hot Rod Reverend here. A little update on the 3 Deuce intake manifold and setup. You can tell that I've got the linkage ready to go. You can tell I've got my phenolic spacers installed. I've got my linkage all set up ready to go. I did have to order this small piece right here so that I can ensure that I can hook up to my linkage that goes back to my belt crank. That's very important on my firewall. These lids, the air horns, are just sitting here, and you can take a look at my venturis that I've got all squared away. So for the primary carb, we've got this 55 ECG5 setup. This is the second best that Ford made, or Ford had made in the Holley 94s. The best, most 56s and very, very early 57s, some of the trucks. We've got these nice venturis here. I really like these things. They flow the best, they work the best. These will be our secondaries here. Now, for the time being, we are just hooked up, as you can see, with not progressive, but just full outright linkage here on all 3 of these. As you may know, a Holley 94 is made up of 3 basic sub-assemblies. Your base, where your fuel bowl and your venturis are at, and then of course your air horn. So the way we're going to handle this is basically putting on the bases first, bolting them down to the intake manifold, and then we got our spacers on there. We also got our linkage hooked up, and this just ensures that our linkage works correctly. So that's a big deal. Right now we're not going progressive, just go straight out. And I did have to buy this small piece of linkage here separate, and this will be what would attach to my arm that's off of my pivot for the accelerator pedal. They're not completely open on the ends, and some of that's because of the slop here. So, but it does work well, and we won't need wide open on the secondaries anyway, so we should be okay just for testing purposes. Just to explain how we're taking care of vacuum and to talk to you about the different gaskets. There's 2 different gaskets that come in these kits that are specific to this middle portion, this fuel bowl and venturi portion. You can tell I've got my primary here and my secondaries laid out. My secondaries are plugged, and we've tested those to make sure that they don't leak, and that's important to do. Okay, we're going to perform a little leak test, and I've got some solvent here in the fuel bowl. I have installed brand new jets. Secondary carbs, both of them will have 48s, and the center carb is going to have 51. So we'll go from there. And what I'm checking for is to see if our front plugs are secure and sealed off. And then I'm also checking under here with our plug, just to make sure that nothing's leaking down there. So after we get done, I'll leave this overnight, even that long, just to test it and see what happens. And we'll look at it tomorrow morning. But you can see where there is a vacuum on the secondaries. Now, those are the larger ECG6s and ECWs. This one is an ECG5. ECG5 carries this gasket here, has no bump out, and the reason for this gasket size as comparison with the bores that are larger here with this one is because the ECW and the ECG6 bases have larger bores on the throttle bodies for the bases. So also here you see there's a little bump out to take care of your vacuum passage that's here. Now since basically this is closed off to vacuum, there's nothing here that's getting a vacuum anywhere, because what we've done is we have sealed off that port right there. Basically this is just a chamber, so it's open to outside air. There's nothing inside the carburetor it's going to. So technically what we can do is we can go ahead and use this smaller gasket and be just fine. Test fitting my brass fittings for the fuel inlet. These 2 are fine, and this kind of goes to show why you should just double check everything these threads are boogered up, and actually this kind of goes in crooked. And this probably was one that maybe the fitting was already off and I didn't see it, but it's pretty bad. So we're going to get out a little tap. I think this is 1/2 inch, and then what is it here? 1/2 inch and 28, I believe. Yeah, 1/2 inch 28. On the Holley 94, this boss for the inlet for the fuel is just known as a weak spot. Now that I've retapped this, I think we're going to be good, but here's what happens. This fiber washer gets sandwiched in between the fitting and this inlet here, and that's basically something that you got to make sure is completely 100% flat. Of course, your wire's going to take up some of that slack, but all the same. So anyway, we'll screw that in there and see how we look as far as getting that 110% flat. So we'll take a look at this. I'm going to put the camera down. Just to show you what I mean, I've taken the fiber washer out. You can see here, this will wobble a little bit until you get it tight. Get that fitting right up against that inlet. And what I'm looking for all the way around here is no gap. And I've checked this out already, so I think we're going to be good. Just cleaning up the threads like that, but you can tell not quite. A lot of that is because this is brass, this is pot metal, and over the years they just kind of give way. So hopefully this won't be a point of contention when we get all these together. Right now my game plan is to take the return spring supplied by Speedway and just have a bracket here where my clamshell goes and have this attached to that bracket so this will kick back. What I've discovered is that the way this linkage works, and a little bit of slop in it there you can tell, is that when I pull this back all the way with the spring, both secondary carbs are completely closed. They do not give. What does give a little bit is our primary. You can see that right there will give a little bit, and so I'll have to put a spring on this one, but basically 2 springs and we should be set to go. If you care, you want to know what I've got here in the center carburetor is size 51 jets, and the 2 ends of secondaries have 48s. Brand new jets there. I've also got my linkage all squared away here on the passenger side. And these little pieces are kind of fun to put in, especially with the clips. There is a little bit of a difference here that Ford had with these nicer ECG6s and these ECWs, to where you had something that screwed on here, it was a pivot, and you actually had a different base. I didn't have that, so I had to get 55 and earlier hardware to go on here, and of course it works just fine, as you can see. So on this linkage, you can tell there's 3 holes. There's 3 holes right here to give your accelerator pump a squirt. The hole that gives the greatest squirt is the top hole, the hole furthest to the right. The hole furthest to the left will give you the weakest squirt. What I've chosen to do is make sure that I get the best squirt from my primary and leave just a regular squirt, or just use the middle hole for the secondaries. I may not even need much of a squirt at all. We'll find out here when we get to tuning. But things are getting exciting. We're getting very close. You can tell that I've also installed the provision for the PCV right here. And you can tell from the intake manifold and the video of this port that was opened up by a previous owner and the one from Offenhauser what the differences are. This is just open here to one side as these runners go through. Now as it sits with the 3 carburetors, the linkage, and this aluminum intake manifold, I do feel as though I'm getting closer to the weight of a regular cast iron intake manifold, the ECZ 9425B manifold. So I feel like I can go ahead and install all of these parts, all 3 carburetors, all fully assembled and ready to go, just like this, and slide it onto the engine, and think we'll be fine. I think this goes without saying, but just for safety's sake, what I'm going to make sure that I do is that I don't mix these needle and seats, that these are sets and I keep them together. I don't know if it matters too much with the Viton tip, but to me, it's just to keep it together. You can tell that these have different numbers here. I'm not quite sure what that's about. But anyway, that's just best insurance here as we get these things together. I do need to test my floats and make sure that we're good there. But we're getting a whole lot closer to getting everything together and putting it back on the engine. Now, if you saw my other video that has 10 tips on just rebuilding carburetors, that's really be for anybody. What I've done here is I've taken just a normal storage container you can get. These are pretty nice because I can take the whole little container out of here if I need it, but got all kinds of parts in here for Holley 94s. Very nice. I just was stripped down 4 or 5 of these. I decided to start keeping all the parts all together. I haven't gone through the jets to separate out the size. I need to do that, but I do have the floats in here. I need to test those and make sure that we're ready to go. But this is extremely handy to have, and I'll put a link in the description if you guys are interested in buying something like this. It's pretty cheap at a place like Harbor Freight. And yes, I even keep one for the Holley 4000 as well, with all kinds of parts in here. Springs, the power valves, plugs. Boy, I've got all kinds of things in here. These are the secondary diaphragm, spring, economizer valve, linkage parts. This small rubber grommet actually goes up into this hole right here, and what happens is there's a hot air tube that actually goes down here to your intake manifold and just has some warm air inside of there. So I've got all kinds of things here for the Holley 94s or the Holley 4000s as we work on them from time to time. Well, guys, that's it here today on the update for the 3 Deuce intake manifold. Thank you guys for watching and participating and support. I know basically there's not that many views on this work. It's 50s tech. May not be as much interest as there used to be, but I'm glad for all you guys. Got any questions, just drop it in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them as soon as I can. Basically, I think the only thing left that I have to buy, I've got to buy a couple things for plumbing up the fuel. I do have a log here, right? I actually made, I think it's a Shelby knockoff, I think. Anyway, I've got a fuel log here, and then I've also got to buy air cleaners for this thing, which I know they're readily available. Got to get 3 air cleaners for those Holley 94s, but won't be too much longer, and we'll be putting this thing on the 292 Ford Y-Block V8 and firing it up.